gotta do something with the top of my head. Something looked like a chicken or something. Minutes of Horror pointed this out earlier in the week. I've just been, caught up with other stuff, but they did an interview, alleged interview, with this CIA plant wearing one of those flesh masks to look like that lady on. That's exactly what it is. If you ever seen these things, like they go right over your face, and it's almost like something you've seen like a Marvel movies. And dude, you're supposed to stop. What the fuck is this? Fucking retard. So it's very close to their skin, and they can pull it off. It's one of those. It looks like one of those. And then they have her in these clothes, right? They got her in this shirt that looks kind of like the one she wore on the plane, but a little more cleavage showing. In fact, this woman playing the part here is a little bit bustier. But it's retarded. It's almost like they're like people like Homer Simpson or something. Like they look the same every day. They went, well, we got to put her in the Charlie Brown fucking shirt because that's what she, you know what I mean? It's one of those cases. So to me, the whole thing just looks phony, and it's there to, answer questions the way they want to have them answered, so people will leave this thing alone. But what Minister of Horror pointed out is that in the background is 2223 symbolism. We talked about 2223 here about a month ago, which is my problem. I'm usually way ahead of things, and then when they actually come around, all I can say is I already talked about this. But yeah, it's the idea that the 22nd or the 23rd is supposed to be some kind of societal change. A lot of things have been pointed out as to what would be considered predictive programming, the same way that things were done before 7/11 is an inside job. Some of it's pretty compelling. I was watching some woman on like a QVC selling some kind of communicator or CV or an alert thing, and she's like, and you're gonna need one next month for what's coming, and she didn't mean to say it. It just kind of came out. It was an emergency services thing. So they have something cooked up. I don't really care. I'll deal with it as it comes. I already had one of these this year. I forget what it was, but we already had one of these doomsday dates that came and went. And my attitude was the same thing then. It's like, yeah, whatever. If it happens, deal with it. There's no kind of planning or preparation you can make for this kind of stuff. Because if it's going to be that disruptive on that kind of level, then there's not much you can do to kind of swerve that. Unless you're like a super duper remote viewer, or you're Jazz Coleman or something. You can't really tell exactly what's going to go down and when, how severe it's going to be. So you kind of have to roll with it. The good thing is, like, at least, it won't be a complete surprise to some people. But again, I don't know if that really helps or hinders or whatever. But yeah, the 22nd and the 23rd of this month, we'll see. If I had to guess, I would say it's going to be another one of these nothing things. And then it's just going to come and go, hopefully. I mean, that's what you want, you don't want disruption, you don't want anything like that. And where I live, it's kind of a bit different too, because it affects me a bit differently, being out here on this island here. I don't know how that works. Like, if they have something that goes on the mainland, they have to kind of make it maybe happen here too, or not happen here. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. So it's just a wait and see game. It's a wait and see game, like everything. Get out of here. Usually there's no one back here. That's why I came back here. But this is Labor Day weekend, so it's pretty crowded. A lot of people out. There is no escape on Labor Day weekend. There's really nowhere to go. But yeah, so I wanted to just point that out. I thought that was pretty crazy that was there. I don't know if he picked up on it or someone else did, but whatever the case, that's more predictive programming, or just programming it kind of at this point, because it's not really hidden. It's just, there it is, bang, Let's get out through here before I start discussing anything else. That's like kind of, strange. yeah, it's I don't know, to worry about that kind of stuff. You're worried all the time, but that's kind of what they want you to do too. Like they want anxiety. You know, anxiety is a good way for them to farm the kind of loose they like, you know, or the what they can digest, what they can take in. Anxiety, fear, you know, anger. They got to keep you in that vibrational state. Of course, doing the regular demon patrol. I'm not so much, when I'm out here looking for stuff, I'm not so much visually looking. I'm listening. If you've ever recorded music, for musicians, when you record stuff, if you want to have a nice dynamic range and you're not a brick-walled squashing retard, you kind of want to have everything in its space. You want the drums to have their own space. You want the guitar to occupy its own space. You want to have every frequency to have its own area so that it'll sound good, right? So in the same way, out here, when I'm listening, the sounds have their own place that they sit in. Traffic has, like, imagine traffic as its own track. People's voices as its own track. Just ambient white noise, like whether it's air conditioning or machinery, they have their own track. Everything's sitting in its own space. Those little sounds are big sounds, whatever fucking sound they are frequencies as well. So what I'm listening for is the demonic frequency. It cut through. How's your talking doing today? Okay, let me see. Let me get over there. Yeah, it cuts through a lot of the regular frequency. What happened there? Whatever. So that, you can. I'm sorry. I'm getting like all sorts of fucking. There's too many people out here. Getting too much fucking frequency myself. But it's on its own frequency, and it's not normal to this realm, right? So you can kind of hear it sitting in among all the other sounds. Now, when they're in a body, they're using that body's equipment to speak. So even though it'll sound like a yell, you know, you'll hear like a person's yell, it's its own frequency that sounds a little bit different. It doesn't belong here. It sticks out. I don't know what they are. Like, I can't tell you what the frequencies are exactly in a numerical way or any other kind of way. I just know when I hear it, it rises above the other little instruments of like traffic and regular noises and just ambient white noise. It sticks out over them. And that's why I'm not just listening for screaming. Because regular idiot run down the street going, ah! That's regular human sound. That's a regular human frequency that's going to fit in with that band. When you have a demon trying to get into a body, when they start using your voice box and all your shit, it's still, even though that person's voice is coming out of the body, you can still hear that it doesn't belong here. It doesn't fit in. It's like having, I don't know. It's like a color thing or a. It's not so much it just sticks out. It sticks out. You can kind of hear it, or at least I can. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm listening for. So it's not just screaming people. It's that frequency. A lot of times it is screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of carrying on, because what's happening is the demonic frequency. It's like a radio station, and it's trying to get acclimated to the receiver, which is the body. So it's trying to get in there. So it's almost like when you're trying to get a radio station and you're driving around the city and oh, it sounds good here, oh, it sounds good there. You're trying to get into your radio. And it'll sound good for a minute and then it'll be loud, then be quiet. It's kind of like that. Like the yelling magician guy over here. That just blends right in with the people voices. It doesn't stick out to me at all. So yeah, when I'm out here, I'm not looking for it as much as I'm listening for it. To the untrained eye, it may appear like I'm just walking around Because I mean, I am. That's kind of the fun of it too. I mean, it's an interesting place to walk around. There's a lot to look at. So it's not. And I know the area, so. Yeah, so this is Labor Day weekend. Saturday night. Had the supermoon the other night, which means Pete released another song. I listened to it. It's okay. It's not. It's another slow one, kind of. I'm about ready for that album just to come out and not have to deal with any of this anymore. But whatever. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to get to that this week. I have a whole list of things I want to touch on, but the list is on my phone in the little notepad. Problem being, I'm using my phone right now to record this, so I maybe I should write it down with a pencil or a pen. I don't even know where I'd find those things anymore. I must have some around the house and the antiques area. Well, until that happens, thanks for dropping by. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.